Notice of a public meeting of the City Commission of the City of Brownsville pursuant to Chapter 551, Title 5 of the Texas Government Code of the Texas Open Meetings Act. Notice is hereby given that the City Commission of the City of Brownsville, Texas, in accordance with Article 5, Section 12 of the Charter of said city, will convene an executive session and a special meeting on Tuesday, December the 10th, 2013 at 5:40 p.m. and 6 p.m. in the Commission Chambers on the second floor of Brownsville City Hall, Old Federal Building located at 1001 East Elizabeth Street, Brownsville, Cameron County, Texas. Executive session, item A, discussion pursuant to section 551.071, 1A regarding contemplated litigation, and 2, on a matter in which the duty of the attorney to the governmental body under the Texas Disciplinary Rules of Professional Conduct of the State Bar of Texas clearly conflicts with the Texas Government Code, Chapter 551.
Motion to move to executive session.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Motion carries. Okay, Estella, it's 6 o'clock.
Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and the invocation.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible. Do we have, is Brad around? Tell them it's divine intervention here, something. Brad, it's your turn.
Let's pray. Father God, we thank you so much for all you have done for each of us. Lord, we thank you for this season where we celebrate the time where you left your throne in heaven to come to earth and be born a virgin, all in your marvelous plan for forgiveness of our sins. Lord, we thank you and praise you for that. And for those that are depressed this time of year because things are not quite what they had imagined it would be, help us all to focus on you. Help us to focus on what you have blessed us with instead of what we don't have. Lord, I ask you to lead and guide each of our leaders. Bless the mayor and commissioners tonight as they make the decisions that need to be made for our city. Lead and guide each of us in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
Mayor's activity report.
No, I think we have
I'm
action.
sorry.
The way you got
I'm
the
ahead of myself.
action on
Action on the item.
discussed in,
Action on item discussed in executive session, consideration and action to proceed as advised by legal counsel in executive session.
Motion to proceed as advised by legal counsel.
Second.
all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. As far as the mayor's activity report, basically, just two things. This is our last meeting for the year, so I want to thank everyone that's here tonight for having participated this year in our city commission meetings. I want to be extremely grateful to all the city commissioners for all their hard work that they've done this year. I want to wish the entire community a wonderful holiday season. And then I want to give a special recognition and a shout out for some of you who may or may not know our women's volleyball team over there at University of Texas in Brownsville Ocelots. I was fortunate enough to get a call from some of the folks there that said they were coming to Casa Bella at 4 o'clock yesterday afternoon, and we had a PUB meeting at 5, so I was fortunate enough to go there to greet them. The ladies were wonderful. They were excited. The only problem that they had was that they were trying to finish final exams, I think, on their flight and on their way in. But they are to be congratulated. We as a community ought to be extremely proud of them. They worked really hard, and I just want to tip my hat to them and tell them that the city really appreciates their efforts and to congratulate them, and hopefully they have a Merry Christmas. They're the national champions of the NAIA, of the volleyball women's division. They've been the champions on a couple of occasions over the last 3 years. But this one was particularly special. I think what happens is that they have worked extremely hard. Their coach was extremely proud, and they went over and above board in preparing for this championship. And so they were a happy group. And rightfully so. Hard work paid off. Any commissioners' reports?
I would like to, it's my pleasure to announce, it's, I guess, an early Christmas present for all of the city of Brownsville. The city of Brownsville has introduced a new mobile app that allows citizens to have direct access to information and communication with their city government. The new app, called Access Brownsville, allows users to easily submit requests for service, ask questions, or leave comments or suggestions to city officials. With the app, residents can file online service requests, which are routed directly to appropriate city departments for resolution. Users can also check online regarding the status of their request. Along with service requests, Access Brownsville provides important information such as brush and trash pickup schedules, city news on events and services, employment postings, emergency management information such as disaster preparedness tips, evacuation routes, and more. I want to thank the following on behalf of the mayor and the commissioners for their hard work in building this app. Jeff Johnston, Assistant City Manager, Odi Leal, Interim Emergency Management Administrator, Felix Sauceda, Interim Emergency Planner, Adalberto Guzman, Digital Production Manager, Jerry Hedgecock, Director of Public Information Services Department, and all the city department directors and departments who contributed data for this project. The Access Brownsville app is available free on Apple iTunes for iPhone and iPads, as well as on the Google Play Store for Android smartphones and tablets. The new services is also accessible on the city's website through the 546 Help link, which provides access on any internet-connected computers, laptops, and tablets via a web browser. So, thank you to everyone that helped on this project.
I'd like to second that. I think it's a wonderful move, Commissioner. That's what I would like for you to do. I don't see the Brownsville Herald here unless I'm missing someone, but Ty Johnson, who generally reports in the city, I want to make sure and will give you that task to make sure that you give them that press release, and with the city, with the help of the staff of the city. But that needs to be gotten out to as many people as possible, and in every corner of the city of Brownsville. Okay,
Yes.
Commissioner?
Real quick, Mayor, I just wanted to let everybody know that we were supposed to have our Christmas parade yesterday, but it was rescheduled. It will be on Monday at 7 p.m. here down Elizabeth Street. But before that, this has never been done before, where we're going to combine the two events. We're going to have Washington Park lighting at 6 p.m. So it's a historic event. It's something that we have done forever here in Brownsville. That's our most prized and historical piece of stomping ground that we have. And I just want to invite everybody. We're going to have crafts for kids, hot chocolate, things like that, and gingerbread men. So I'd really, really, really appreciate it if you could all, bundle yourselves up if it's cold and make it out here and just show your spirit and spend the holidays with each other and wish each other happy holidays, Merry Christmas.
Well, good. Thank you, Commissioner. And from what we see at the Weather Channel, we should have pretty decent weather for everybody. We've missed more forecasts most of the time, but hopefully this coming Monday, it will be, wasn't it Monday?
Yep.
Okay.
6 and 7.
Yeah, bring the kids, have a great time. It's a wonderful time of the year to be with family. Okay, anyone else? Okay, proclamations.
Proclamations for Yanet Garcia.
It's a huge honor to present this proclamation to you. As you all are aware, Ms. Garcia owns Ribbons of Hope, which is one of Brownsville's only retail stores that offers prosthetics and wigs and things like that to cancer patients. And it's just, if you ever step in, it's just the most loving, caring, wonderful, wonderful environment. And I wasn't aware about it, but when I did find out about it and I met your clients that you serve and your mission, I was very impressed by it. But then I heard your story behind it, and it literally brought me to tears. My mom is a breast cancer survivor, and then hearing your story, I mean, it just ate a huge piece of my heart. So it's an honor to have you here and recognize you, and to just bring awareness to the community that your store exists. And if anybody needs anything, they'll know where to find you. You're on Paderes Line Road at Batzel Plaza, right in front of the Oyster Bar, former mayor. Shout out. But yes, let me go ahead and get started. Proclamation of the City Commission of Brownsville, Texas, recognizing and commending Yanet Garcia for special and dedicated service through Ribbons of Hope Boutique in Brownsville, Texas. Whereas Yanet Garcia is a Brownsville resident married to Jose Garcia, raising 3 children, Brianna, Ariana, and Jose Garcia. And whereas Yanet Garcia, after being diagnosed with breast cancer and undergoing a mastectomy and subsequent chemotherapy in November of 2011, searched for a fitting breast form and found that she had to travel to the upper Rio Grande Valley and sometimes to San Antonio to purchase the needed mastectomy products. Whereas, while undergoing chemotherapy, she became concerned for all other local women undergoing breast and other cancer treatments who had no one to take them to purchase their mastectomy products. And whereas, in her selfless desire to help others undergoing cancer treatment, she decided that Brownsville needed a source for such products. Thus, she obtained her mastectomy fitter certification in 2012. And whereas, seeking to spare other women undergoing cancer treatments and experiencing the same frustration and needs for mastectomy and other products, Yanet Garcia began the learning process of starting a small business, and in July 2012, she opened Ribbons of Hope Boutique in Brownsville, Texas. Now, therefore, we, the members of the City Commission of the City of Brownsville, Texas, by the virtue of the authority vested in the Charter of said city on behalf of all of our citizens, do hereby recognize and commend Yanet Garcia for her courage, her selfless concern for other members of our community who are undergoing cancer treatments, and for her valuable contribution to our community through her boutique, known as Ribbons of Hope in Brownsville, Texas. Done on this 10th day of December 2013, Antonio Martinez, Mayor, and the City Commission.
Hello, everyone.
How are you?
Doing great, thank you.
Good. Nice to have you here.
Thank you. At this time, I want to thank, first of all, God for permitting me to be here today. I also want to thank my family for standing by my side through a very difficult time in my life. I also want to say thank you to the City of Brownsville, City Commissioners, Jessica, Mr. Mayor, thank you very much.
Well,
Thank
thank
you for this
you, and
presentation.
keep up the good work, and we're right here, right next to you, okay?
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Anything you need, we're here.
Next item.
Consent agenda items A through D.
approve.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item number 5.
Item number 5, consideration and action to appoint one city commissioner to the Brownsville Metropolitan Planning Organization Policy Committee.
I would like to nominate
Deborah?
Commissioner Portillo.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Congratulations.
I have a packet for him.
There you
Mail.
go. Passing of the packet. Okay,
Items-
item number 6.
Item 6, public hearing and action on first reading of ordinance number 2013-736-0, -0, to amend the City of Code of Ordinances, Chapter 98, Traffic and Vehicles, Article 5, Stopping, Standing, and Parking, promulgating a new Division 6 parking meters and adding sections 98-382, 98-383, with sections 98-384 through 98-410 to remain reserved and dealing with related matters.
Mayor, City Commission, I promise never to use this background again, but it's a little dark. This item is with regards to parking meters downtown, and I just prepared a little presentation so that in order to tell the story of where we're at. So that's the ordinance number. I have Robert here with me somewhere in the back to answer any questions on specifics. But really what the question is do we have an issue of parking inventory or parking management? We really, in my opinion, we don't necessarily have an issue about parking spots, literal parking spots on the street. However, we do have a parking management problem, which is, research shows, parking is too cheap. It allows for people to park at 8 in the morning and feed the meter all day. So that meter never turns over. It's never. If you were to drive into downtown from somewhere else and you want to go shopping, the complaint number one about downtown Brownsville is there's no parking available. I can't find any parking. In 1986, Brownsville did a parking study. And I don't think the situation has really changed much since '86. But these are a couple things that were said in that report. An adequate supply of public parking that is well managed, efficiently operated, and properly maintained is important to the future growth and revitalization of Brownsville's central business district. Parking meters are used to encourage turnover of convenient short-term parking spaces in high-demand areas and to obtain an economic return on the use of the city's streets and public parking lots. The following recommended changes will improve the capability of providing short-term parking, make the curb and off-street parking more cost-effective, and help to deter possible abuse by either employees or the public, which we know currently happens. What other cities have raised their meter rates? These are all the cities that have, in the past probably 5 to 10 years, raised their rates. McAllen's at 50, Laredo's at 75, El Paso's at 75, Corpus is 75, Austin I think is $1 or more, San Antonio $1.50, and Houston is $1.50 per hour. This book by Donald Shoup is considered to be the Bible of parking. And really it deters the high cost of free parking. He provides a case study, which is Old Pasadena, California. And I took this out of the book, and it says, Old Pasadena, a historic business district, is a leading example of a battered area that dramatically improved after the city used parking meter revenue to finance added public services. Spending more than $1 million a year of meter money on new public services helped convert what had been a commercial skid row into one of the most popular tourist destinations in Southern California. What Donald Shoup argues is that if you are going to increase the meter rate, you have to spend it in the downtown area to improve the conditions of that area. So what really happened in Old Pasadena, and once again, I apologize about the background, but this is in 1989, before the increase of parking meters, this was the sales tax that was collected, which was about $200,000. And as the parking meters went up, this is the sales tax that was collected. So more turnover of parking spots allowed for easier access, allowed for more people to spend their time shopping and not necessarily driving around looking for a parking space. And the data also showed this line right here is a shopping mall in Pasadena. So as you can see, everything stayed flat at the shopping mall, and as the property was being redeveloped in the downtown area, sales tax increased. So this is a little description about those lines. Plaza Pasadena was a shopping mall. It was eventually demolished. Old Pasadena is now considered a tourist destination. It's revitalized. South Lake is a premier. South Lake is this top one. So it continued to just kind of, it continues. And the Playhouse District is the yellow one. So it also follows the downtown area sales tax. This is a graph that shows time reduction. So this is before the meter increase is the red. So this is how much people were spending about 6 minutes looking for a parking spot. After the increase, they spend about a minute. Same thing with parking, same thing with walking. So everything reduces, allowing more people to spend more time shopping in the stores than looking for a spot. This is the same thing, cruising, parking, and walking. So people before spent more time doing other things than shopping. So what are the recommendations that Mr. Shoup says to any city in general? Set your parking price so that it produces 85% occupancy rate, which is 1 vacant space on a block with 8 curb spaces. If the price is too high, if many spaces are vacant, and too low if no spaces are vacant. So I would say that Brownsville fits into the second category of there are no spaces available in the downtown area after probably 9 o'clock on Elizabeth and Washington, and primarily Adams as well. Increase rates, but dedicate additional revenue to public improvements in that specific area. So that's what his recommendations are. About 2 years ago, we did a downtown Brownsville alternative financing study, and these were the parties that supported that. The study once again reiterated what we thought. The downtown Brownsville parking meter is well below average. The average is $4 actually, the average across the country. Raising parking meters is difficult. It's the only source of reoccurring revenue. So on a long-term basis, this will continue to give us revenue for projects. This source of funds will be helpful in paying for catalytic projects. And then it goes on, TXP projected that parking revenue will likely increase between 80 to 90% if you increase the revenue. But the most important thing is meter increase will also produce greater turnover. So it's not necessarily about revenue, it's about managing our parking so that it promotes more commercial activity in the downtown area. This is our parking meter revenue. And this line right here is about $300,000 a year, and this is at 25 cents per hour, right? So what are the benefits? More turnover, less time finding parking, increase in sales tax, revenue to invest in downtown. So what does this ordinance before you tonight do? This ordinance is proposing to increase all parking meters to 75 cents an hour. And also a major change that Robert, for efficiency purposes, right now we do nickel and dime, but this would move to quarters only. The airport is already at quarters only. It'll create a downtown revitalization fund, so anything above, any revenue that comes in off the meters above $375,000 will go into a revitalization fund. It also creates for downtown owners. We have a lot of city lots that are heavily underused, especially behind City Plaza, St. Charles, and the 2 lots behind City Plaza. There's one on Jefferson. So this would create a permit for downtown owners. That permit would be at a cost of $60 a month, which is cheaper than parking if you were to feed the meter at 75 cents an hour. What have other cities done? They use the money to increase, once again, fund catalytic projects, support public infrastructure, invest in downtown. This is a map of where all the meters are located currently. And this, once again, says, what could we use it here in Brownsville? Street and landscape projects, small business revolving loan fund, business improvement districts, facade programs, green spaces, and alley improvements. And if you have any questions, me and Robert are here to answer any questions you
I
might
just
have.
have one. How much revenue are we generating right now? Because you said 375 would go into that.
Currently, it's about 300, so at a quarter. At a quarter an hour, we're generating about 300, and it doesn't. The general fund always has to kick in a little bit to even it out. So that's why we gave it a little bit more room, 375, and then anything above that would go to downtown projects.
How much is the general fund kicking in right now?
I believe anywhere between $10,000 to $20,000. It doesn't break even.
It's public hearing, I think, any,
Uh-oh. It's all right.
Brad Burks here in Brownsville. I just want to say that before the bus station went in, there was a large parking lot there that I used to use when I went downtown because I didn't know how long I was going to be there and if I was going to make it back to the meter in time. We keep talking about this parking garage going in there across from the bus station. And I would like to hear that we have a strong commitment to getting that done if we're going to make it more expensive to park downtown and make it where you can park someplace a little longer without a ticket.
Actually, Brad, that project has been totally funded, and it's architecturally about, I don't know if Andy's here, Norma's here, about 95% complete. And we're working on even some additional parking, perhaps across the street. We're looking at architects to give us some more input and insight so that we can have sufficient parking. What everybody has told us thus far, is at least the people that have come down here from the architectural and traffic control type of people, saying we have a parking management problem, not so much a lack of parking. But we're looking at that, and I think the other thing that, since Debbie, you did such a fine job with the city commission, the city staff, there's actually a mobile app that can be applied to the parking areas downtown that you can have on your phone, and it can tell you what's empty and what's not, and therefore you don't have to drive around or cruise. You can say it's available. It's sort of like they do on some of these parking lots. And when you go to a stadium to go to a football game or something like that, they say this slot is full, go to the next one or whatever.
Just don't text and drive.
There's actually an app that will tell you all that, and we ought to explore that because that would cut a greater amount of time. And it's being utilized by some of the communities in the United States already.
What is the completion, the likely completion date on that parking garage?
Norma would be the one that have to tell you that.
Construction is March, April.
It's going to be a little while, but
Well, we're already at 95% completion of construction documents. We're scheduled to go out and start construction at the end of March with completion of the project by the end of November of next year. November
so we're
2014.
talking about a year out. Okay, thank you, Brad, and thank you, Norma. Brother Robert?
I have many concerns. Number one, you're saying that you are going to be building a garage. Then why are we raising the 75 cents to the people? And since the city is so poor, especially the citizens, and it doesn't make sense. I look at what he said about McAllen. McAllen has 2 parking garages, as you know. They're way ahead of us. 50 cents, not bad. 75 and quarters only is going to cause a burden. Where I work at the car wash, we use only quarters. I have to supply all those quarters. And people come in there to get quarters to do other things, wash. They need quarters. It's going to be a little headache there. One of my concerns is why does the general fund has to be supplying money to something that's already making money? That doesn't make sense. Okay? If you're going to charge 75 cents and you're already making 300,000, it comes out to almost $100,000 now. I don't like how the money's gonna be used. I have a feeling that that money's not going to be put back basic for the downtown area. If you're gonna make that much money in the 75 cents, you could build a second garage. But it seems like you're not gonna do that. You always want federal grants to do things. It seems like Brownsville has a crutch, and that crutch is we need to ask for federal funds and get money from the poorest people to supplement. A lot of people that do work downtown, yes, you have to have parking space somewhere, but how can these employees, $60 is gonna be a hindrance to their paychecks if they're only getting minimum wage? I see that as a hinder. I see also that Brownsville is gonna lose more of what it doesn't have. The tourism is not gonna like it. More tickets are gonna be given out if you don't put those quarters. I don't know if they're gonna raise the price of the ticket for, not being there. I thought it was $2, now it's $5, it's gonna be $10. Are they gonna boot more cars? Are they gonna tow more cars away? This is gonna put a burden on a lot of families. And I feel that myself, it seems like Brownsville doesn't want people just to go downtown anymore. It's getting scary. I'm going to TSC, I have a permit, so I can park there at the, at the college parking lots and walk across. But a lot of people don't have that fortunate thing like I do. So 75 cents, I cannot see that. It's gonna be a very hardship for everybody in Brownsville. It seems like we're dividing Brownsville, especially the downtown area, with the northern part. Even the people in the southmost are gonna look at this. And the word hasn't gone out yet, okay? I didn't know anything about this. Once the word goes out, how much is gonna affect what's left of downtown Brownsville? Will more shops close? We have to look at all of those factors. The planning department with Mr. Gonzalez says we need the revenue, but the revenue, he puts up a list of things that sometimes are not needed in the downtown area, sir. So 75 cents is going to hinder this. I've been to Pasadena, I just went this summer. They have a lot of garages, okay? I just came from Seattle too. Seattle has the worst parking I have ever seen. I couldn't even find a parking space, but the reason is the tourism was overwhelming. And second, Seattle, I thought Seattle was humongous. It turned out to be, it's only in a small little area. It's like in a peninsula. So there is no parking. So yeah, they charge around $2, $3. And I was lucky to get a parking for the baseball game. $25 just to park. And I was lucky. So please, commissioners, your districts, your areas, you must think about this. 75 cents, you might say it's nothing, it is something. Thank
Robert,
you.
I have a question, Robert. That TSC parking permit, is that free?
I got it for $60 for the year.
60?
Yes, for the whole year. Thank you.
Okay.
Ram, I had a quick question. Oh, I'm sorry Ramiro. Sorry. My question is, did we look at all of the other aspects before coming to this conclusion? Like, I know other cities have parallel not parallel, what is it when you? The diagonal parking, which is so much more easy. But have we looked into that? Have we absolutely ruled that out? And I had another question. I know that we have parking lots. I think there's one by Linear Park that we don't even have meters at. I mean, did we look into that?
Correct. I talked to Robert about the one about the federal courthouse, and we are going to a lot of employees that work at the federal courthouse park there instead of parking at the courthouse parking lot, which is across 7th. But that's because there are no meters at that spot. So we are going to reach out to Judge Hainan and see if we can get us a contact with GSA as far as trying to get some revenue off that parking lot. But to your other question with regards to angled parking.
So much easier.
Yeah. There are some opportunities to do that, but once again, I think it requires investment, and it's revenue that we don't have, investment we can't have without going to grants or anything else. So it kind of impedes that ability. But there are some streets where we could do that. Jefferson and Adams are one of them. I don't think you'll be seeing it on Washington and Elizabeth. They're too narrow, and we want to promote pedestrian. So if anything, we would increase the sidewalk width and narrow the traffic lanes, right? So yeah, there are some things that we can do, but once again, we need to have that ability to invest in these projects that would promote commercial.
Have we ever looked at how much that would cost?
No, I haven't. But there is a cost to it. You have to build some bump outs on the corners and make it safe.
But I think it's only fair to answer her question. That topic has been discussed. I mean,
Yes.
it's not like it's the first time around. We've looked at what Austin did on Congress, South Congress. We've talked to Jeff Speck. I mean, this is not the first rodeo.
Yeah.
I mean, we've been talking about this for a year and a half, maybe even 2 years.
And everybody
and
that
every
come-
aspect of it that has to do with the bike and hike trails. Yeah.
Dan Burden was just here, the very famous expert, and took a walk with a lot of us downtown, and that was one of the many things that he suggested.
Every professional planning person that's come and visited us in the last 2 years has hands down said it's too cheap. It's just, and it doesn't give you that revenue to invest in other projects. So, and that's going to continue to be the opinion. The last time it was raised was 1976.
Yeah.
So everything else has gone up in price, right?
Anyway, any other public comments? If not, I'll entertain. I'm sorry.
I rarely agree with my teacher, but I do concur in this one. And we don't have set projects. We have projects that are in the making. We have visions for what we want for downtown. But to go from 25 cents to 75 cents in one instance or another is not responsible government. I know I'm at the losing end, and I know this will probably pass, but I have to concur. Going from 25 cents to 75 cents from one day to the next, or from within a couple, when are you planning to do this?
I'll let Robert talk about the specifics on what all the meters have to be reprogrammed, and it'll be at least 3 or 4 months before we get around to it. But I'll let Robert.
Yeah. Mayor, Commissioners, on the parking meter systems, the parking is really not, affects the, like Mr. Robert says, like the poor people. It affects the motorists only. It's not really, most of the downtown parking shopping is mostly people that walk from Mexico, or people that get off and walk, so there's not that much vehicle traffic. So it's not really gonna affect them that much. What's gonna do is this increase will turn around, and it will give the city more parking, more business for the downtown merchants. And on the other hand is you have all the parking lots are full with most of the employees of the downtown, and it's what creates, and they're nickel and diming it. And it's not really doing a profit for the city of Brownsville. And it's not really so much for a profit, it's really to improve the downtown development, to improve the bike lanes, to improve more people coming to the downtown area. The 75 cents is way overdue. I've tried 10, 15 years ago to try to bring that up, and I realized the economy was kind of high then, and those things were getting bad. But we can do it. The change of the meters, 75 cents, we can do that, and it will take the department maybe about a month and a half to do it slow. But this money will be improved. Instead of getting out of the general fund, it will be given to the downtown area, which it would save the taxpayers more money, more time to improve the downtown area, because this is really a good thing.
Robert, have you and Ramiro been working on this for a while?
Yes, we have. I have Mr. Ramirez came to my office and to discuss the situation, and then we looked at the fees, and I know it sounds high, and I realize that it sounds high. I realize that, but in the long run, in the long term, is that after a while you won't even realize that 75 cents is not really. We're really still halfway there. And
Did you all try out a scenario, since you're doing quarters only, did you try out a 50-cent scenario?
the reason I went quarters owner is because the reason is it's.
I realize that, but you're going 75 cents.
Yes, sir.
Did you all, when you all scoped, did you all scope at a 50 cent to try it out? In other words, you're going from 25 to 75.
Mhm.
Quarters only, okay. Did you try 50? And let's see how we do for a year.
Well, we discussed the 50 cents, we discussed that, the 50 cents, and we discussed that in the meeting. And if you wish to go with 50 cents and then a year later go up to 75 cents, well, then it's fine with, that's, I have a problem with
I'd
that.
like
May
to
I
have-
say something, though?
Give me a sec. I'd like to have some kind of a benchmark. Because going from, drastically from 25 to 75, I do concur with you, and I do agree that there are necessities, and we need to get creative with alternatives on how to find this money.
Absolutely.
But without benchmarking it, Robert, and just going up another 50 cents per hour.
I believe
know-
there's a reasoning behind that, though. I met with Ramiro to discuss this issue because I had the same concerns that you do. But it is cost effective for the city to only do the increase once, because you have to keep in mind that all of our staff has to spend 3 months doing an increase, and all the money that will be wasted doing such, retrofitting the machines. And then if we're only going to increase it again, this would be streamlining our efforts and becoming more cost efficient.
Well, the good thing about it is that, Commissioner, that it does take a little bit of money to change that. The good thing is that those meters were changed to electronics. They're electronic meters now, and they've been changed about 8 years ago. We changed the whole system from mechanical to electronics. So all we need to do is just get in the program and reprogram it and get the iPod and reprogram the meters. There was talking about people to go in there and to go use their credit card, debit cards, making it more convenient for the downtown shoppers. They came to talk to me about that, and they were willing to give me the whole package of meters and the whole thing. It sounded really nice. The only thing is that it will cost the city of Brownsville more money to maintain because of the fees we're charging for parking that we couldn't pay for that kind of service. The only way you're going to be able to pay that kind of service with debit card and make everything going to debit now is to raise the increase, and 25 cents and 50 cents was not going to be able to pay for that. If we want more quality in the downtown, better parking, better meters there, and with a debit card, like the mayor says, for more things, electronical, and see how much that's fine, that's great, that's very nice for technology, but that technology also costs money because they do charge us a fee every month. And the fee we make for the meters, it will not be sufficient with 25 cents or 50 cents.
Robert?
Sir,
To
Commissioner.
put things into perspective, the last study was done in '86.
Yes, sir.
The
Yes,
fee,
Commissioner.
the rate was 25 cents.
I wanted to bring up to 50 cents that time. They figured that the time was not the right time. They hold back and they said it was deleted from the records.
Because
20 cents. Well, it depends on, the reason it was 20 cents because we were doing nickel, dime, and quarters.
Okay.
That's why.
Because this ordinance would affect motorists only because obviously they're the ones feeding the meters. But in 1986, a gallon of gas was what? 80 cents?
A gallon of gas, well, actually, like
Yes.
1986, so the gas went up,
I mean, it's gone up
It's
about
gone up,
400%.
But yes, but that's fluctuation, gas is, it fluctuates a lot. Sometimes it's like, 307, so it fluctuates.
Yeah, but I mean, it's a cost of living that's gone up, and to maintain the traffic department and the gentlemen and the ladies operating collecting the money. I mean, it takes
Well,
money. And
the meter pays right now, it pays traffic, it pays the meter patrol officers, it pays off the wages, also the maintenance that goes with the meter. So it does not come up from the general fund. We do get a little bit of money from the general fund that Mr. Gonzalez says, but that could be deleted from that. If you wish to go 50 cents, that's fine too. You have the final say-so here, but I don't want to come back a year later. I don't think it'd be a good idea, and all of a sudden raise it because they say that you raised it 50 cents, now you're going to raise it again a year later. The Commissioner's right. It doesn't really make much sense.
If I could.
Sir?
If you go to various cities, most of them are now doing the credit cards, and we're not there. And if you're talking about benchmarking, this is probably a pretty good benchmark in between. What we're probably going to see the next time is probably going to go Bitcoins when you have virtual money, that you're not even going to see anything like this. I mean, let's face it, technology is moving faster than we are.
Absolutely.
And so when you're looking at all those things, we're actually doing something in between. And even though I appreciate, all the concerns, the study and the discussion that has been going on this particular project has been, pretty extensive by the staff, as best as I know. I haven't really visited with the staff on this issue, but I know that they've been asked to take a look at this and talk to. We've had charrettes, we've had bike and hike trail people, we had experts, we had consultants. It's not like it hasn't been explored to the finest, and I think some of the commissioners have also inquired. So is there anybody else with the public hearing? If not, I'll entertain them. Okay, motion to close.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Move to approve.
Second.
All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Nay.
Okay. Motion carries.
Now, Ramiro, I meant to include this if we had an argument between the votes, but on the ordinance, it addresses the Mexican consulate only.
The Mexican consulate, I mean, any consulate in the United States has,
Community.
those plaques are, those license plates are gold, worth gold, right? But
Well, yeah.
Yeah,
but,
so it'll-
But as far as our ordinance, I think it only.
yeah, he'll be
Defines-
fine as far as tickets and all that stuff. I think,
Okay, because
Yeah.
we just presented the consulate from Honduras a proclamation welcoming her into our city.
yeah, that was just like 6 months back.
Mhm.
Yeah. But the plates are what does it. If it's a consulate
No, I know.
plate,
I know
yeah.
they have a lot of
Yeah.
rights, but we don't want to just single out Mexican.
Okay.
Okay. Item number 7.
Item number 7, public hearing and action on first reading of ordinance number 2013-1562-A to amend the City Code of Ordinances, Chapter 98, Traffic and Vehicles, Article 1, in general, Section 98-15, Vulnerable Road Users, B, and dealing with related matters.
Mayor, City Commission, this is an amendment to the Safe Passage Ordinance that was passed probably about a year back. Since then, Bike Texas has joined our efforts here, and they noticed a little discrepancy. The state standard, the one that TxDOT uses on all their papers and all the stuff they hand out, is 3 feet. Our ordinance was 4 feet. So in order to clarify this issue, so we're going back to 3 feet. And this is what it is, a 4 foot. So if you're a car, you need to pass, you need to give 3 feet to the cyclist when you pass. And if you're a truck, you need to give 6 feet.
It's not just the cyclists, it's the vulnerable travelers, so it's pedestrians as well.
Exactly. And this is Fernando here, and this shows you, this is Fernando who's sitting in the audience. But this shows you the 3 feet rule and how it applies on a bike. And this slide will show you. This is a bookmark that's printed that's in my office, but it's printed by TxDOT for Bike Texas, and it has Austin. It has all these cities that have a safe passage ordinance. And Brownsville is one of them, but if we were to hand it out in Brownsville, it would be incorrect. Because ours is 4 feet. So we're just going to, go back to 3 feet. That's the standard, and we ask for your approval tonight.
I think that's also the national standard, if I
Yes.
recall correctly. Okay. Any other public hearing?
We close? Oh, second. No, I think there's.
Robert Este. I just have one question. On this 3 feet, my concern is when I'm driving, I notice that some of the bicyclists are not keeping to their right side. They go more to the left into the traffic lanes, and they need to be reminded that. Or when I see 2 bicyclists together, parallel like that, they're taking up more space. In order to pass them, because we do have the right-of-way too on that road, we're going to be getting into the center lane and might have an accident. So I think bicyclists need to understand too, stay on the right all the time, as close as they can to the curb, because it's very difficult. Some of the roads are congested, and we go back into some areas where there's parking on the road, and they're in the street too. And there's not enough room for both the cyclists and the motorists going one direction and another one coming back the other way. So bicyclists needs to be, I wish they would go back to the 1950s when I was little. And we had to go to the police department and get a bicycle license. I think you remember that, sir.
I remember
And
a
we
lot of
had to
things.
take.
I don't remember everything, but I remember a lot of
Okay. Well, maybe I'm older. But the thing is, we had to get a bicycle license and actually take a bicycle test. So this needs to be reminded to bicyclists too. Thank you.
Thank you, Robert. Okay.
In response to that, Mayor, we are in the midst of designing a very comprehensive educational program for drivers, cyclists, and pedestrians now. There are 4 PSAs that COB-TV have just produced and are now, I believe, going live, and they're about to be translated into Spanish to address issues like that for both pedestrians, for all 3, pedestrians, cyclists, and drivers, to explain the rules of the road, including share the road, which describes that on certain roads, cyclists have every right to be in the road, just like a car. So keep an eye out on COB-TV for the PSAs that are coming out, and look for us on billboards, and police and Bike Texas and B Metro are going to be helping to distribute as well.
Appreciate that.
It's funny, when I was coming to the meeting, there was 2 cyclists on 7th, and there was 9 of us behind them. And they were riding parallel, holding a conversation while they're going, but the regular speed limit on there is 30. And I realize that. But they were in imminent danger because 4 people out of the 9 that I counted got out there and swerved right in front of them. Now, I understand, but like you said, hopefully this educational course, there needs to be some kind of a speed limit also, because you've got vehicles coming down 7th Street and to turn on the left, and these people were holding a conversation while they're riding their bike. You know,
Well, you got Fernando here
nonchalant,
from
yeah.
Bike Tech, that's working with City of Brownsville. And so a lot of those issues, guys, it's a matter of common sense, and it's a matter of safety. We're all in this together. So, if I don't have 75 cents, I have to have a bicycle. Roberto. Anyway, we have a motion to close and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you very much for everybody's input. Next one.
Item 8, public hearing and action on first reading of ordinance number 2013-1600.02, to amend the City Code of Ordinances, Chapter 320, Planning and Development, Article 2, Sidewalk Facilities, Section 320-37A, 2, 3, 4, and 6, and adding 7 and 8, and dealing with related matters.
Mayor, City Commission, this is, the number 8 and number 9 are an effort to kind of standardize the way that sidewalks get built. Right now, as you notice, some of them get built curb to curb, right up against the curb, and some of them get built and maybe they have like a 2-foot buffer, and that really is because our ordinance doesn't specify what it is that the city wants. However, I'd like to ask for you to table 8 and 9 because we still need to kind of tweak it a little more and get it right so we don't come back again. So.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. 8 and 9 will be tabled.
Item 10, public hearing and action on first reading of ordinance number 2013-235-.82, to amend the City Code of Ordinances, Chapter 348, Zoning, Article 7, Supplementary District Regulations, by adding sections 348-1383 to 348-1386, with sections 348-1387 through 348-1410 to remain reserved and dealing with related matters.
Mayor, City Commission, currently in the city of Brownsville, if you develop a commercial site, you're not required to provide for bike parking, or you're not required to provide for bike racks. So if you're HEB or Walmart or any type of commercial development, you can get away with not providing. So there are a major concern that some people brought up in the plan was the lack of bike racks. This doesn't address all that. This only addresses new development, and it provides a requirement for commercial development to add bike racks to their facility. On the screen, you see a couple of examples of bike racks. This is one of them. This is a kind of a unique bike rack design. And then this is, in the ordinance, I just took out a specific, so you could see how the ordinance is going to work. So if you're general retail or a grocery, you're going to have to provide 1 bike space for every 10 vehicle spaces. And if you're an office building, 1 per every 15. So if you're a Walmart and you have 200 spaces, you're going to have to provide 10. So, which is not, you might have 10 bikes at Walmart at one time. So we felt that it was a pretty good balance. We did the comparison of a Walmart, and we felt that it was okay as far as all the standards. So we asked for your approval tonight on requiring bicycle parking in commercial areas.
So, this includes the commercial buildings and plazas and all that?
Yes. The other issue is the retrofit, right? So development that already exists will not come under this ordinance. So that's something else, that's another challenge that we have as far as going to like the new Starbucks per se and having them install a bike rack. That's another challenge we have to get over. But with Bike Texas, we're going to work on that for sure.
No, but what I'm asking is with regards to like the commercial plazas that come in, this applies to them?
Yes.
A public hearing. Mr. Robert?
With all this bike stuff, are you getting us bikes for Christmas?
Robert Este. The first thing that came to my mind is the cost to some of small restaurants. They only have four parking spaces or 5 parking spaces. They're going to have a bicycle rack for that? Okay.
Well, the development, not the restaurant.
Yes, but still, it's going to be a cost. If we're doing this, I look at socialism already encroaching Brownsville. And if the city of Brownsville is going to also be putting bicycle racks, I think they will be. Should we put meters on those too? Okay? Because since we're talking about vehicles as a transportation mode, why don't we charge a quarter for every parking deal? Because I see bicycles being wrapped around tree posts, stop signs. Yeah, I see the Mormons guys, they tie their 2 bikes and they come back later, there's no bicycles. But if we get to a point that, my goodness, are we really that bad in money for the city? I mean, I look at this as a burden on any business that wants to come into Brownsville as putting now. Now, if we're living in the Southmost area and we want to go all the way in a bicycle to the mall or anywhere, it's a difficult journey. I think the buses would provide a better transportation than providing these things. I think y'all have to look at something like this. I work at a car wash. I can imagine putting bicycle racks there for people that want to come and wash their bicycles there. And I do have people come to wash bicycles, but they bring them on top of their car. But this is getting to a point that I see that Brownsville is, I don't know. I just really don't know which direction is really Brownsville going. Is it really trying to improve its image, or is it hindering the growth of businesses and putting a hinder to the people of Brownsville? And it gets to a point that I talk to many people, and they're disappointed in the area that we're going, in which direction. I just get scared every time to come here and hear something else is going to happen to me. Maybe I have to put a bicycle rack at my house too, in case somebody wants to visit me. Thank you.
Thank you, Robert. Anything else? Hear a motion is closed?
Move to close? Oh, there's somebody else.
Oh.
Omar Hakim, I just was asking, I was curious, is there a minimum? So if you've got 5 spaces, what's the minimum? Do you have to provide one?
Yeah, one space.
Okay, cool. All right. Well, I guess my comment would be I would, I support and recommend that, at least one minimum space. And I also commend the city for considering the future growth of the, multimodal transportation systems, especially with its, numerous implications for increasing the city's health. So.
Thank you very much. Okay, motion to close?
Move to close.
I'm sorry, what did I?
I was gonna say a comment.
Yeah, no, all this is great. We do it, for the bikes. We need to visit streets. It'll tie into this.
I'm sorry?
We need to visit streets. We have not been spending money on streets. These bicycle riders are gonna be riding on our streets. I ride a motorcycle and come close to death sometimes because of the potholes that we have and some of the roads that we have messed up. We need to start addressing streets if you're gonna be moving towards being a bike town. We have not put aggressive money the way it's been in the past in the streets, and everything is going towards bikes, but our streets are still remaining in the same conditions.
Move to close.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion
Move
carries.
to approve.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any nays?
Nay.
Okay, motion carries. Okay, that passes there. Public comment, I think
Public
we-
comment, Mr. Robert Udesti. Item number 12, consideration and action on resolution number 2013-067 to approve the application to the FY 2014-2015 Regional Solid Waste Grants Program with the Lower Rio Grande Valley Development Council in cooperation with the Texas Commission on Environmental Quality.
Good evening, Mayor and City Commissioners. This resolution requests your support and your approval of our application to the Regional Solid Waste Program. A total of 8 applications are going to be submitted. 5 of them will be submitted by the Public Works Department, and 3 of them will be submitted by the Health Department. The 5 applications to be submitted by the Public Works Department include the purchase of a compost screener in order to enhance present composting operations, educational workshops related to composting, hazardous waste, and landfill operations, educational workshops that promote sustainable recycling activities within local schools and the community, and 4 cleanup events aiding graffiti abatement, beautification, litter prevention, and waste minimization, as well as the creation of a public outreach project administrator position that will be responsible for maintaining and promoting environmental and recycling programs. The 3 applications to be submitted by the Health Department are for 9 Big Belly solar intelligent waste and recycling collection systems, which will aid in the reduction of litter and promotion of recycling efforts in the community. The total project cost for all 8 applications is $421,700, but requires a match of $215,000 to come from the Public Works account.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Do I hear a motion?
Move to approve.
Second.
Was Santana okay with it? Okay.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you very much. Thank you, Stephanie.
Item 13, consideration and action on resolution number 2013-064 to execute an advance funding agreement between the City of Brownsville and the Texas Department of Transportation regarding the Transportation Enhancement Project for Brownsville Historical Battlefield Trail Fort Brown connection.
Mayor, City Commission, this is the official execution of the agreement accepting the grant from TxDOT for this project. A couple of months ago, or about a month ago, I think we brought the engineering contract before you, and the legal has already approved this advance funding agreement. But in order to execute it, we need a resolution from the commission, so we ask for your approval tonight.
To approve.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any noes? Motion carries. Thank you.
Item 13, consideration and action on resolution number 2013, item 14.
Item 14.
Consideration and action on memorandum of understanding between the City of Brownsville and Building Community Workshop for the purpose of supporting the creation and development of the Brownsville City Design Studio.
Mayor, City Commission, the Brownsville City Design Studio is something that we've been thinking about for quite some time. I happened to go to Chicago 2 years ago for the planning conference, and this is something that a lot of cities are doing, and it's really to improve the aesthetics and urban design qualities of the city. So just an idea of what other cities that are doing this type of setup. San Francisco, and it's always under the planning department or in partnership with the planning department. So San Francisco, Portland, Dallas, Durham, North Carolina, and we recently found out that San Antonio just is also doing this. And it really gives us a tool to really make a concerted effort on improving the way our city looks and the way our and just in general design. And so this is an example mission statement from San Antonio, and it says, educate the public to be aware of design quality and demand for good design in the built environment, encourage a more vibrant professional design community, elevate the quality of design in our built environment, and enhance the standing and profile of San Antonio's built environment as a distinctive global city. I would say that we've been doing this a little bit with the university, TSC, and we continue that relationship. Tomorrow there's another presentation on the Krager House. So we ask for your approval. This would be a partnership with BC Workshop, who worked on the Belden Trail. And there are still some details to be ironed out. So if the vote is going to be for approval, we ask that it be approved per legal's signature or legal's approval. We ask for your approval tonight. We really feel that this would be a great partnership to take the city forward and city planning forward. So
I think the issue would be the quid pro quo of the values going both ways. So
Exactly.
subject to that, I would entertain a motion.
What is their role?
their role is just to assist us in planning activities. So if, for example, we need some community engagement, much like what was done at the Belden Trail, or the project that we're working on over at, that trail project. So if we needed some community engagement or some quick design help or design elements, they would be there to help us out. It's a very flexible tool, and the initial project would be to help us establish this design center at the San Fernando building. So the San Fernando building needs a lot of work, but we also need some services to get to where we want to be with that building. So that would be the initial scope, but the contract says that it's reviewed every year as far as their scope of work. So if their original scope is done, let's say, in the first year, then the second year we would be working on another project or multiple projects. So that would be, that it leaves that flexibility in there.
And they did assist with the Belden Trail. And tomorrow, I understand you're having something with the Krager House, and they're going to be involved as well?
They participated in the reviews with the university.
Okay. And they're working kind of hand in hand with the university and with TSC.
And CDCB. So.
Yeah. Anyway, I entertain a motion.
Move to approve.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Motion carries. Thank you, Ramiro. Appreciate it.
Item 15, consideration and action for the purchase and delivery of 3 ARBOC buses for B Metro Department.
Good evening, Mayor and Commissioners. We're here today to recommend considering action to purchase the delivery of the 3 buses for B Metro Department from National Bus Sales in the amount of $354,994.99. This procurement reflects the Tex-Mex contract purchasing. Funding for this procurement is available through our TxDOT Inner City Bus Fund, and the local match is Transportation Development Credit, so there's no city local match for this project.
Okay.
Motion approved. Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you, Norma.
Thank you.
Are these 3 buses replacing buses, or they're adding to our fleet?
These buses are for the Metro Connect service.
Oh, okay.
They're gonna, so it's actually adding.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Number 16.
Number 16, consideration and action to award a contract for the purchase and delivery of an urban search and rescue special mission tender for the Emergency Management Office.
Welcome, Odie. How are you?
Good evening, Honorable Mayor and Commissioners. The Office of Emergency Management and Homeland Security recommends consideration and action to award a contract for the purchase and delivery of an urban search and rescue special mission trailer to Metro Fire Apparatus Specialist, Inc. of Houston, Texas, in the amount of $157,408.33. The procurement reflects by-board contract pricing. This equipment will be used by our fire department. Funding for this procurement is available at 100% through the State Homeland Security Program funds.
Move to approve. Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, Odie. Number 17.
Item 17, consideration and action to award a contract for camera surveillance maintenance for the Brownsville Police Department.
Mayor, Commissioner, Commissioners. In June of this year, we started working on upgrading our security system cameras. We had an analog system that failed. We needed to add to that. We wanted to add drop mics to critical areas of the police department. That's juvenile areas to where we could record sound. And we worked with several companies in the valley that could handle the current digital system we work with, and we chose one. It's a Milestone that works with the Milestone software. It's Total Protection Systems. And we worked with this company, and we feel confident that we've got these upgrades, and we want to be able to work with this company, and through federal forfeiture funds, the funding is completely available. We'd like to get this moving.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Nay.
Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
To adjourn?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion carries.